Hello everyone, my name is JoshJrumJrastic and welcome to another Lazy Masquerade video. Today's video was a suggestion video by someone. Not a specific video, they just told me to react to Lazy Masquerade. And then I asked them if he had any new videos and they just didn't reply back. So I guess I'm going to be reacting to a Lazy Masquerade video today. With no context whatsoever. So I just chose whatever video, which just so happens to be his newest one. And we're going to react to that one. Hopefully that's okay with you. Anyways, I know my hair's a little bit fuzzy. I didn't put gel in it today. And so is my beard. My ungrown beard is a little fuzzy. Anyways, today's video is 23 minutes long. I do not have my water with me. It's down the stairs. I keep on forgetting my water. I gotta get my water in check. Make sure you have your water. Water is very important. Anyways, guys, as always, if you enjoy this kind of content, consider leaving a like on the video. It would be much appreciated. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Josh, and this is what I do. I react to videos, and sometimes I play video games. So if you enjoy that kind of content, consider subscribing and sharing my videos with friends so they may grow and we can all watch and play some awesome videos and video games together. And if you have any suggestions of any videos they'd like me to watch, go down in my comments below, leave me the link or title to the video, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Anyways, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Bop, 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 start! It didn't start, of course. Now it started. Anyways, so I checked the audio. The audio should be fine, relatively. And also, sorry for the late upload today. Yeah, just sorry for the late upload today. I didn't realize what time it was. And also, I had to go do some yard work.
Today's video is sponsored by Raycon.
And we're gonna skip this!
Audio horror is a great way to unwind after a long day.
Hey Raycon, how you doing? I don't know how many people actually use your headphones, bud. I use Beats. I think they work pretty well. I use Beats and XH, whatever, or HX.
With 6 hours of playtime,
HyperX or whatever the heck they call it. I don't really know.
Ray
But I use these instead, and I use my Beats headphones. But I have a problem with Beats. Their microphone always stops working at some point. Microphone will always stop working. One time I had headphones
a strange little
until
case
I was like
obscure.
For 3 years.
That
It worked pretty well. That was like Beats
The
1.
Barbell was the name of a large transport ship.
After that,
Back in 1993,
how long they
when this
lasted
incident
just kind
happened,
of
was a very
down.
modern vessel. On August 15th of that year, the ship and its 6-man crew were delivering a shipment.
Oh, did I read
London
the
to
title? 3 disturbing mysteries that have finally been solved, or have they? I don't know what that quite means. Like, have they been solved or have they not? Like, you can't just, it's black and white. It literally is black and white. Have they been solved or have they not been solved? I mean, you can't really not do that. But anyways,
dock in northern Germany.
let's restart it at least a little bit.
The Barbell was the name of a large transport ship.
Ooh, barbell.
And back in 1993, when this incident happened, was a
I still
very
haven't
modern
worked
vessel.
out. I gotta work out this week.
On August 15th,
I'm gonna
of
work
that
out
year,
today.
The ship and its 6-man crew were delivering a shipment
I'll
from
video
London to
record it,
Rostock
proving
in
that I
northern
worked out
Germany.
today. I gotta
Manning the
motivate
ship
all
on
of
that
you.
fateful voyage were machinist
If I can do
Mikhail
it, you
Mikhailov,
can do it.
sailor Vladislav
I am
Volkov,
not paying attention. I
helmsman
gotta pay
Viktor
attention.
Varenko, cook Anatoly Smolyuk, Captain Heinrich Teltman,
Captain!
and, most notably for this case, 28-year-old Russian Andrei Lapin.
Hello,
More on him in a
Andre. I don't know who you are.
That morning, just after the ship departed from London,
I'm gonna turn
Captain
it up on my
Teltman
headphones.
telephoned his
Just
wife.
saying.
He told her everything was going smoothly, that the crew didn't have any troubles loading the ship, and that they should arrive in Germany in the early evening.
Lovely.
On
Germany.
the next day, when there was still no sign of the ship or her crew, Captain Teltman's wife and others tried tirelessly to contact the Barbell, worried about the safety of the men on board.
Was that the size of the barbell?
There was no response.
You're telling me a giant ship like that
For
had
3
some...
days, the Barbell was missing. Then,
That's the
at
Barbell?
10:45 a.m. on August 18th, it was sighted, aimlessly floating in the North Sea, far off its actual course.
These are weird.
Soon after, 2 lifeboats were also found by Danish fishermen. One of them was empty. The other contained Andrei Lapin, who, despite being adrift at sea for at least 2 days, was extraordinarily calm. He was conspicuously holding a suitcase filled with 60,000 Deutsche Marks, around
Piracy.
54,000 US dollars in today's market. There was no
Piracy.
sign of any of the other crew members.
Piracy.
When investigators from Denmark got aboard the Barbell, they came upon a gruesome scene.
Piracy.
There had obviously been a violent confrontation on board, with
Piracy.
evidence of fierce fighting having taken place.
Piracy.
They found a huge amount of blood in various quarters,
Piracy.
which someone had futilely attempted to wash away.
Sorry, piracy.
Disturbingly, they also found small chunks of human scalps and skin.
Not piracy.
Captain Telkman's cabin had been trashed, as if someone had been frantically looking for something.
Piracy.
The ship's cash machine had been emptied.
Piracy?
There had also been several noticeable attempts to start a fire in certain parts of the ship,
Piracy?
and several cans of gasoline were found strewn around.
Piracy?
No, it didn't take Sherlock Holmes to work out what had happened here. Someone had murdered the crew,
Piracy?
dumped their bodies overboard with weights attached, taken all the money on board, and tried to destroy the ship along with all the evidence.
Piracy?
All fingers were pointing firmly at the sole survivor, Andre Lapin.
I don't know.
Needless to say,
One
the
man
detectives
killing an
had a few
entire crew?
questions for him.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Originally, Andre had said that a fire had broken out on the Barbel, and that the other crew members drowned in the chaos. He said that he was able to save himself by getting into a lifeboat, and that he took all of the money he could find on board from his colleagues and planned to give it to their families. The investigators then informed Andre that although they had found evidence of someone attempting to start a fire, those fires didn't actually go off, and the Barbel was still in perfect working condition. Andre then changed his story, and said that this was all just a huge misunderstanding, before going into a convoluted story about how there had actually been a mutiny on board. He said that 2 crew members, who were angry about unpaid wages, suddenly picked up axes and started attacking the rest of the crew. The men began fighting for their lives, but unfortunately, the captain and his 2 innocent colleagues were killed in the combat.
You're telling me...
Andre said that he was able to kill the 2 mutineers in self-defense using their own axes. Fearing that no one would believe his story, he threw all of the bodies into the ocean, started several fires to destroy the ship, and then jumped into a life raft.
Well, then it's clear who did it.
He now claimed all the money in the suitcase was actually his, and that he had made it from selling traditional Russian religious artifacts.
Okay, now he's just lying. We obviously know who
The
it is.
Danish authorities weren't buying what Andre was selling.
Duh.
They arrested him for the murder of his 5 crewmates.
Yes. Stop texting me while I'm working. Sorry, guys. I got a text. As always, I have to skip that so you guys don't get whatever the heck it was. There.
They handed him over to the German police.
Good. You bad man.
At his trial, the prosecutors alleged that Andre, motivated by greed, killed his colleagues in cold blood and concocted his unbelievable story in order to literally get away with murder.
Seems reasonable.
The captain's wife, who was a witness at the trial, said that when Andre was rescued, he was wearing her husband's watch. All of the evidence suggested Andre was a ruthless killer, and
Makes
everyone
sense.
believed this to be an open and shut case.
Pretty much.
Well, sadly, no justice system is perfect. Because all of the evidence was quote-unquote circumstantial, the prosecutors couldn't prove beyond reasonable doubt that Andre had committed murder. The jury believed it was possible his story was true, that he had acted in self-defense. As such, on February 3rd, 1995, he walked out of court a free man.
That's what happens.
However, he was given a 1-year suspended sentence for attempting to burn down the ship. And that Andre was the obvious killer. Others aren't so sure.
Sorry, guys.
Firstly,
I'm just gonna
they
keep
point
my
out that if
phone
Andre's
on
main
so
goal
it
was a simple
doesn't go
robbery,
off.
why would he go as far as to kill 5 men? That's a pretty huge leap to make. Not to mention, the logistics of him butchering 5 grown men with an axe without being taken down himself is questionable.
Yeah, that is pretty insane.
Sure, maybe he picked them off one by one, but being stealthy in the claustrophobic confines of a ship isn't as easy as some people imagine.
No, God, no.
Maybe he really did act in self-defense.
I don't think
After
so.
all, it's much more believable that he was able to kill 2 men with the support of his comrades, rather than 5 alone. Also, if he truly was responsible, the timing of his rampage seems strange. He was miles from dry land, so when he killed everyone and escaped in his life raft, there was no guarantee that he'd ever be found and rescued.
You think he really understood
Wouldn't he
how
have
far
waited
away
until
he
the ship was
was?
closer to its destination? Better yet, why not just steal the money and valuables while the ship was docked in London? He could have gone on the run from there.
Caught.
The risks would have been much lower.
Everything's
Whatever the case, the exact events of those grisly August days remain unknown to everyone.
It's pretty
Everyone,
known.
that is, except for Andre.
No, okay, it's pretty obvious what happened. He killed everyone. I mean, is that Andre? Is he a military man? If he's a military man, then he has experience fighting. Boy, I mean, it's not really that hard to guess that this dude just got lucky and killed everyone. It's really not that hard. And then he tried to start a fire. I mean, if he's trying to start a fire to burn away the evidence, I mean, that's not really I mean, you don't even really need. He's lied 3 times. He's changed his story 3 times. How did they not find him? I guess beyond a reasonable doubt. Yeah. I mean, you can't prove it. There's no cameras or anything. You can't just prove it. But so I understand why they didn't find him guilty because they can't prove it. But it's not a mystery. We know what happened. Everyone knows what happened. It's not really a mystery at all. It's not. We know what happened. And you'll be like, "Oh, do we? Do we know what happened? I mean, blah blah blah." Yeah, we do. Don't lie to me. We know what happened. It's pretty obvious. I mean, it's obvious. Come on. It's really obvious. I know the justice system doesn't. You can't work with just circumstantial evidence, and so But I mean, we know what happened. Same thing with OJ. We know what happened. We know what happened. It just the justice system needs evidence. That's how we work, or at least sometimes that's how we work. In some cases concerning like accusations of certain things like harassment, sometimes the justice system doesn't even look at evidence, which I think is kind of stupid because we let these people walk without concrete evidence. We let these kind of people walk, but we don't let other people walk without concrete evidence. I don't know. Seems we're very, very picky and choosy on what we. I don't know. I don't know. I think it should be concrete, no matter what. I think it should be concrete. And but if you can prove to me that there's enough circumstantial evidence, yeah, I'll say he's guilty, and I say he's guilty. That's plenty of circumstantial evidence for me. Circumstantial. He has motive, money. He lied 3 times. He tried to burn the ship. You know whether or not he could kill them, that's up to debate. But that doesn't deny the fact that he tried to burn the ship. That's legit evidence that he did. We know he did. He lied 3 times. That's legit evidence. Why would he change his story 3 times? Unless if he was trying to hide something, you know? And that he got the money in the end. He has the money. He took the money with him. And he's the only one that survived. Little suspicious. Why wouldn't he just stay on the big boat after he killed the 2 men? Why would he get off? Why would he get on the life raft? I don't know. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Leave me a timestamp to this point where I start rambling on, and tell me what you think down in the comments below. I know some of you tend to give me your thoughts, but I never know what you're talking about because it's like 2 days later, and you give me this like long paragraph that I get to read, and I love your story and I love your thoughts, but I have no clue what you're talking about because you guys don't ever leave me timestamps on like uh, where it is that you're leaving me this information. I'd love to listen to myself and see what I said and then hear what you have to say. But you guys got to leave me timestamps. Sadly, I didn't, sadly, you guys don't do that a whole lot. You just answer my questions and then move on. But yeah, tell me what you think. Do you think I mean, I'm sure everyone thinks he's guilty. It's pretty obvious that he's guilty. The only reason why he wasn't found guilty is because we didn't have any concrete evidence. It was all circumstantial. But I mean, even circumstantial evidence, if you have enough of it, can prove someone to be guilty. It's just, you know, DNA used to be considered circumstantial evidence. Now it's not. Now it's considered evidence. Now it's considered concrete. Evidence that's also concrete is videos or eyewitness testimonies. When they're on the stand and they're testifying, that's considered because that's a person going against another person. Uh, so that's concrete evidence. Circumstantial evidence uh, is all of this basically. You know. Anyways, on with the video.
So, What do you think?
I
Has this
think it
little-known
did.
European mystery actually been solved?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you too hold doubts about Andre's guilt?
Oh, God, no.
Let me know in the comments.
No. He's guilty.
As a funny side note, after the trial, Andre applied for another job on the Barbel, which was now owned by the captain's widow. He didn't get the job.
Oh, you think? Number 2.
Sticking with the year of 1993 now, but let's rewind the clock back to February 1st and take a trip to Yakima County, Washington.
Yakima?
On Route 24 near Moxie, a man was spotted lying down, dead in the middle of the road.
Okay.
He was middle-aged, wearing glasses, and dressed in a military-style outfit with work boots.
Interesting.
There were no substances in his system. He was believed to be the victim of a hidden run, and a Chevrolet Camaro was seen speeding away from the scene around the time he died. Since he wasn't carrying any form of ID on him, his identity remained a mystery.
Oh, come on, DNA.
He would stay
19.
at John Doe for another 10 years.
Yeah, until...
But that's not even the crazy part. Let's get into it.
Alright, hurry. Come on,
The
give
day
me
before the John Doe's body was discovered in Yakima County, 1,600 miles away in Amarillo, Texas, Karen Glenn Lewis and her daughter were returning home from a shopping weekend in Dallas.
What does she have to do with this?
They opened the front door to their home, expecting to find their husband and father, David Glenn Lewis, waiting for them inside. But they didn't. The house was empty. Strange. Stranger still was that David's wedding ring and watch had been left on the kitchen counter.
You telling me he's...
It was Super Bowl weekend, and a tape which had been manually set to record the match was still recording, despite the fact that the game was long over. There were 2 freshly made turkey sandwiches in the fridge. There was no note or anything to indicate where David might have gone.
Tell
It
me
seemed
that
as if he
body
had left suddenly and in a hurry.
is...
But why had he left his ring and watch behind in plain view? The following day, when David still hadn't returned home, on that same morning the John Doe's body was discovered, Karen filed a missing persons report for her husband. The investigators examined the house and found no signs of a struggle or forced entry. It appeared as if David had left on his own volition. That didn't make sense though. David was a devoted family man with a good job.
Yeah, he looks...
As far as everyone knew,
He
a
looks like
stable
one.
state of mind.
Yeah, he looks...
Their search for David quickly turned up a vital clue. His car was found in Amarillo's downtown area. Under the driver's mat were David's house and car keys. In the glove box were his credit cards and driving license. All of David's personal items were now accounted for. The only thing missing was the man himself. This is when Karen, his wife, told the detectives a vital piece of information.
What?
Just before he disappeared, David had confided in her that his life was in danger, but refused to go into details about it, only telling her that someone had been threatening him.
Okay.
This is where his job comes into play. David was an attorney, and even the most amicable of attorneys have enemies. Though we don't know exactly who was threatening David or why, it could easily have been one of his former clients who felt that David had failed them in some way.
Yeah.
On top of that, David was a man with strong principles.
Obviously.
His law firm were fighting their own case against a wealthy client, and David was scheduled to speak against his own company.
Ooh.
He told his own father that at the deposition, he planned to tell the truth, whoever it hurt. With the law firm standing to lose a lot of money if David refused to lie, and it's possible that they were involved in his disappearance somehow.
Oh, they totally could have been.
After digging a little deeper, the investigators learned that David had booked a plane ticket on January 31st,
For what?
the same day he vanished. This ticket was from Dallas to Amarillo.
Amarillo, Texas?
David's wife and daughter had just come from Dallas back to Amarillo on that same day. David wasn't in Dallas with them. That suggests that he had secretly followed his family to Dallas, although how he got there remains unknown, and then booked a plane ticket so he could get home before them, and make it appear as if he had been at home the entire time. It's unknown whether he made that flight or not.
He was watching them to make sure they were safe.
The plot thickened even further when they also learned that he had booked a ticket on February 1st, the day he was reported missing, the day that John Doe was found. This ticket was from Los Angeles International Airport to Dallas.
What?
This extremely strange and seemingly nonsensical twist in the investigation took the detectives down a rabbit hole, which led to a dead end. The only other thing they learned was that on February 1st, a man matching David's description got a taxi from a hotel in Dallas to Fort Worth International Airport.
Okay.
The taxi driver said that the man was extremely nervous and fumbled to pay him with a wad of $100 bills. With no other information to go off, the case went cold.
No, God, no. It's not cold. You have so much information.
Then, in 2003, a patrol detective named Pat Didder made a connection between David's case and that of the unknown John Doe in Washington.
Okay.
If you hadn't guessed already, the two men were one and the same.
Yeah, I gotta guess that.
This was confirmed after a DNA test.
Yeah.
David was the John Doe who died in a supposed hidden run 1,600 miles from his home.
Okay.
This was a huge discovery.
Obviously.
The mystery surrounding the whereabouts of David Glenn Lewis had been solved. But even though that mystery now had an answer, we can't really classify David's case as being complete.
Well, duh. We
There's
don't
still
know
a
who
whole
did it.
bunch of unanswered questions pertaining to his death.
The main question is who did
Why was
it?
he in Washington in the first place?
That doesn't
How
matter.
did he get there?
Who did it?
Why was he wearing a military uniform when he died? Why had he secretly booked these bizarre plane tickets? What business did he have in Los Angeles? Did he really book the tickets on his own accord, or was he taken against his will?
Against his will.
Did any of this have to do with the threats made to David's life?
Yeah.
Was the hidden run really an accident? No one has ever been able to answer any of these questions.
I just did. I answered 2 of them.
Still, the police have discounted foul play, and the investigation into
Discounted
David's case
foul play?
has officially ceased. So, there we have it. The two mysteries of the Yakima County John Doe and the whereabouts of David Glenn Lewis turned out to be one big mystery after all.
Stupid.
Still,
Police
the puzzle
discounted foul
remains
play.
incomplete,
Are you
the
kidding
unanswered
me?
questions being the missing pieces. It's an intriguing case, one that continues to baffle professional investigators and internet sleuths alike, even all these years later.
Doesn't really baffle me. Foul play was
Hopefully one day we'll
involved.
have some answers, and David's family can have the closure they so desperately crave.
What? That they know where he is? That's about it. No. You gotta catch the people. You can't just let that go. Oh my god, so stupid. So stupid. Like, okay, so again, with these kind of stories, like, I have so much to say. It's obvious that foul play is involved. It's quite obvious. He said someone is after him to his wife. That is straight proof that foul play is involved. Someone is after this dude. All the strange behavior towards the end of his life can be explained away simply by the fact that foul play is involved. He is scared for his life. He is trying his best to figure out what to do, and all his decisions are made for a reason. When he died, where he died is still a question. All we know is that he's dead and he was found way up north. Now, what was he doing up north? We don't know. That's another question. But foul play is involved. This is a fact. We don't need to debate that any further. That's a fact. Foul play is involved. He said someone's after him. How can the police just be like, yeah, no, foul play is not involved. He's dead, blah, blah, blah. Let's move on. What? What? Where's the FBI? Foul play is involved. Where is the FBI in this? FBI gets involved when there's foul play. That's what they do. It's what they always do, and it makes police officers mad, but it's what they do, and they're good at it. Get the CIA in here. Why not? You can figure out more. It's not that hard. You have so much information. So much information. You have a ton of information here, just lying on the ground. A ton. You have a ton of information. Now, that whole was probably... That whole him going to Los Angeles, that was definitely probably real. Or not real. Maybe it wasn't real. I don't know. I don't know the information. I don't know all the information. But that's a lot of information. It said they led him down a rabbit hole. Well, what if that rabbit hole wasn't really a dead end, and instead he took a plane there to Los Angeles and then took another plane from Los Angeles to Washington, pretending to be a military man? I don't know. Is there a military base in Los Angeles? I don't know. Maybe there is. I don't know. There's so many things I don't know. I'm just giving you out questions to figure out, because maybe one of his clients was a military man. Maybe that would explain that wouldn't really explain the military outfit, but that would give you a hint or clue to the military outfit. He left his ring and stuff behind for his wife, obviously. He probably didn't think that he was going to come back after this, because that's why he left all his stuff behind for his wife. He didn't think he was going to come back after this. He knew he was probably going to die. That's my guess. So he left all his stuff behind. Now, being the devoted husband and stuff, he's trying to make sure... He followed them there, trying to make sure that nobody would hurt them. I believe that's why he took a plane there. He took a plane there trying to make sure nobody would hurt them, because someone's after him, and he doesn't want them to be involved. And someone who has power. One of his clients has power. Now, it could be someone who doesn't seem like they have power, but maybe they do. Maybe they have a ton of power. Yellow Camaro. That could have literally just been any car, but it's very interesting. I don't know. I think foul play is involved. I think the case shouldn't have been closed. They have plenty of information to keep on asking questions. They have a ton of information to keep on asking questions. They should keep on asking questions until they answer and ask the right question. If you ask the right question, the question will answer itself. I don't know. I think they closed it too soon. I don't know. I feel like they just gave up after they figured out where he was. I feel like that's stupid. Whatever. They don't get paid to do that kind of thing. It's not their job. It's the FBI's job, but, for some reason I didn't hear a whole lot about the FBI helping out.
Let's end things with a relatively infamous British case.
Alright, whatever.
That of Jeremy Bamber.
Hey, Jeremy.
The man who murdered 5 members of his own family.
Oh, stupid, man.
Or did he?
Yeah, he did.
The year was 1985. The setting?
What's up with people
Paulson,
saying,
Darcy,
oh, or did he?
Essex. At some time on the night of August 6th,
If
or
it
the early morning of August
walks
7th,
like a duck
most
and
of
it
the
quacks
Bamber
like a
family
duck,
were wiped
it's
out
most
with
likely a
rifles in their
duck.
own farmhouse. This included Neville and June Bamber, both aged 61, their adopted daughter, Sheila, 28, and Sheila's twin sons, Daniel and Nicholas, both 6.
They're all dead.
In total, 25 shots have been fired. When the police broke into the locked farmhouse, they saw obvious signs of a struggle, the telephone hanging off its receiver, and, of course, the remains of the family.
Okay.
The only Bamber to have survived the whole ordeal was Neville and June's other adopted child, Jeremy Bamber.
Well, then he was an
then aged
accomplice.
24. Jeremy claimed to have been a few miles away in the family home when the killings took place. At first, the investigators assumed Sheila, the adopted daughter, was the one responsible.
Why?
She had a history of schizophrenia and was going through a delusional episode at the time of the slayings, saying that the people around her were being influenced by evil. They theorized that, whilst in the midst of this particularly horrific episode, she took out her loved ones and then turned the gun on herself. Someone had carved the words, "I hate this place," into some cupboard drawers in the farmhouse, so it appeared as if she had simply snapped.
No.
Case closed, right?
No.
Well,
It's not her,
exactly.
duh.
1 month after the incident, their suspicion switched over to the only surviving Bamber, Jeremy. Jeremy's then-girlfriend came forward and told the police that her boyfriend had been planning to kill his entire family for a long time, and that he knew he could make Sheila the scapegoat.
Case closed.
His motivation was apparently a hefty inheritance.
Case closed.
His parents often refused to help him out with money, and Jeremy resented this.
Case closed.
He was going to take what was rightfully his.
Roll credits.
She even claimed he had spent time strangling rats to see if he was capable of killing. On the back of her confession, Jeremy was arrested.
Thank God.
He told the detectives that his girlfriend was lying because he had just broken up with her and that he had no interest in his family's fortune.
I wonder why she broke up with you.
They went ahead and prosecuted him.
Maybe it's because you killed family.
During the trial, the prosecutors alleged that Jeremy had cycled to the farmhouse in the early hours of August 7th.
I believe that.
Under cover of darkness, entered through the downstairs bathroom window
I believe that.
He took the rifle which the family kept in the farmhouse, attached a silencer, and began to pick off his relatives one by one.
I believe that
He
too.
shot his father 6 times in the face and twice in the chest, his mother 7 times, his nephews 5 and 3 times respectively, and his sister twice.
Sure, I believe that.
The shots had been made from both long and close range, suggesting he finished his victims off up close and then took pop shots at their bodies from a distance.
Sure.
He then arranged the scene to make it appear as if Sheila was the killer, removed the silencer from the rifle, and placed it in the drawer it was usually kept in, the drawer in which the police found it.
Sure, I believe that.
The prosecutor stated that if Sheila had really been the killer, she wouldn't have bothered putting the silencer back.
No.
The reason they believed the silencer had been used in the first place was because of scratch marks found on the walls, which had likely been made by the silencer scraping against it during a struggle.
True.
At one point, a truly damning piece of evidence was presented to the court.
What?
Jeremy claimed that his father had called him during that fateful night and told him that Sheila had a gun and was going berserk. This call was his main defense.
Why we
It
believe
proved he
him?
wasn't at the farmhouse and that Sheila had been using the gun.
Why we believe him?
However, it was determined that no such call had ever been made.
Duh.
Why would Jeremy have lied about receiving such a call if he wasn't in fact the one responsible for the whole ordeal?
Because he's trying to get out of it. But
On
I
top
still
of
believe
this,
he's responsible.
Jeremy just presented himself in a negative light.
Duh.
He'd gone on holiday to America shortly after his family had been wiped out.
Oh.
And during the trial, when a prosecutor accused him of lying, he coldly replied, "That is what you have to establish." Ultimately, he was found guilty of all 5 counts of murder.
Duh.
The judge described him as warped and evil beyond belief, and told him he'd spend the rest of his life behind bars. Well, that's the thing. A lot of people aren't sure that Jeremy actually did it,
Oh my
including
God.
forensic experts.
Oh my god.
Let's quickly go over why a large number of people believe the conviction was a massive miscarriage of justice.
I don't care.
Firstly, the testimony of Jeremy's girlfriend is questionable to say the least.
Okay.
She
Fine.
claimed that Jeremy had long been planning the murder of his family, but it's very possible she was lying. The pair had just broken up because she caught Jeremy cheating on her. Only then did she come forward to the authorities, telling them he was guilty. Not
Well,
to
yeah,
mention,
'cause she has
she
no
quickly
ties to
sold
him
her story
anymore.
to a newspaper for £25,000, the equivalent of more than £74,000 in today's money, $100,000 in American dollars.
Heck, make money
She
off
certainly
it.
had
Why
a
not?
monetary incentive to lie.
Sure.
Add on to that a history of lying in the past as well, and her story starts to become a lot less believable.
Okay, fine. Then get rid of that piece of
Secondly,
evidence.
there
I
are
don't care.
inconsistencies with the photographic evidence in the case.
Why?
The crime scene itself was terribly secured by the police, with plenty of the evidence being tampered with or destroyed outright.
What? How?
Remember the scratches on the wall made by
Yeah.
the silencer?
Tell me.
Well, these scratches were later proven not to have been made during that fateful night, but as much as a month later. Those scratches were vital in proving the silencer had actually been used. If it hadn't, then it becomes more plausible that Sheila may have been the killer after all. Despite many people professing his innocence, Jeremy Bamber remains in prison to this day.
How many times was Sheila
He
shot?
still denies his guilt. This was a very
So I'm pretty
condensed
sure
account of
after,
the White House
like,
farm murders.
The second time you
If
shoot
this case
yourself,
piqued your interest,
you're dead.
I highly recommend doing some research on your own, as there's a whole bunch of details I had to leave out for the sake of time. Luckily, there's plenty of information about this one online.
Oh my god, fine.
It's certainly a case that you
do
can
it.
spend hours getting lost in.
I'll do it myself.
Happy sleuthing, Lazy Legion.
Give me a second. I'll figure this out. Jeremy Bamba. Okay, here he is. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go to the Wikipedia article. Alright. Jeremy blah, 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 blah. Da, da, da. Mass murder. Confessed to blah, 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 blah. Daniel Bomber victims include his parents, Neville and Jan Bomber, his sister, Sheila Caffel, his sister's 6-year-old twin sons. Okay, so Sheila Caffel, we gotta look her up. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna solve this right in front of you. White House farm murder, blah blah blah. I'm looking for Sheila Caffel. Where's Sheila Caffel? Believe that Sheila, diagnosed with had fired the shots, then turned the gun on herself. Told the police, blah blah blah. Okay, but I need to know how many times Sheila was shot. Sheila Caffel, blah blah blah, died, was. Does it tell me how she died? Sheila's health condition, I don't really care. Despite Sheila's erratic mental health, I really don't care. Schizophrenia shouldn't make you kill people. I'm just saying. Does she even know how to use a gun? Says right here, Sheila was not a violent person, and she'd never known her to use a gun. She never known her to use a gun. Testified that she never known her to use a gun. So, did she even really know how to use it? I gotta figure out, okay, so this is important right here. Told the court Sheila did not know how to use one. Ann Easton told the court Sheila did not know how to use one. She doesn't know how to use a gun. Bamber disputed this, telling the police that on the night of Sheila had gone target shooting together. He and Sheila had gone target shooting together. He acknowledged later that he had not seen her fire a gun as an adult. So even he acknowledged that he's never seen her shoot a gun. Guys, okay. Hold on. I'm solving this right in front of you. She doesn't know how to use a gun. He acknowledged it later that he lied, that he'd never seen her fire a gun as an adult. Whatever the heck that means. He'd never seen her fire a gun. So, thus giving us a good understanding that she probably didn't even know how to use one, especially in a schizophrenic episode. Do you think she would be able to have the wherewithal during her episode to grab a gun, cock it, load it, put the silencer on, and fire? That's only if she knew how to use the silencer. Some of us think she didn't even use the silencer. In that case, it doesn't matter. She still doesn't know how to use the gun. It just depends on what gun it is, actually. It depends on how easy it is to actually use it. Let's see here. Murder weapon. Bamber told the court, visit blah blah blah, loaded rifle. Thanks to the rabbit outside kitchen, blah blah blah. Full magazine. So it was full with ammunition in the box before leaving the house. He did not point the silencer, telescope, blah 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 attached. He bought the gun, here, 22 Azuki. Oh, here it is. Semi-automatic rifle that fires single bullet with each pull of the trigger. For the compression, okay, so it's just a pull of the trigger. Still probably has a safety mode on it, though, doesn't it? Where's the 22? We need to see the 22. So it was a 22 even. Azuki 22. Here it is. Let's look at it. All right. Do you have a safety? Yes, you do. Safety. I didn't even know guns had safeties. Not gonna lie. I didn't know that was a thing before I learned more about guns. You think she knew that guns had safeties? I'm sure the safety was on as well. In her schizophrenic state, I don't think she would know how to turn it off. Just saying. That's one of the pieces of evidence. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to see how many times she got shot. Or how many times she shot herself. Alright, so from what I can find, this is Sheila's autopsy. Sheila's face covered in blood, trickled blah blah blah. A lot of this stuff I suggest you guys read on your own. How come Sheila Cavill doesn't have her own Wikipedia? I need to know her height. Alright. Right here, it says she was shot 2 times. What? So, first shot, I think it says first shot was right here. Right here. Right through the throat. And then angled upwards and shot right here. Right here. Not in the same time frame, though. My thought is, if you are going to kill yourself, right? Now, if you're going to kill yourself, you immediately go for the kill shot. Right through here. Why here first? Why'd she shoot straight through her neck? That's what it says. It says she wound under her chin. And then one through her throat. Right here. Right through her throat. Why would she shoot the gun through her throat? And if she shot here first, that's a kill shot. That kills you immediately. There's nothing you can do after that. If she shot here, why in the world would you shoot here first? She didn't kill herself. It's pretty... She got shot twice, guys. She got shot twice, okay? After you shoot yourself once, you're basically dead. If you shoot yourself again, first of all, why would you shoot yourself here and then shoot yourself here? That doesn't make any sense. Come on, guys. Come on. Seriously. That doesn't make any sense. You just be like, oh, she did it for no reason. She shot herself right here. First of all, shooting yourself point blank this way. holding this is why I want to know her height. Because if I know her height, then I can just roughly guess how long her arms are and see how long that gun is. You guys go do all this. Go see how long that gun is. Go figure out how long her arms are and see if she could actually shoot herself first, straight through the neck, right here, like this, holding the gun like this. Somehow be able to shoot the gun right here. It's a rifle, guys. Shoot the gun like this, and then point the gun right here, and then kill herself. Explain that to me, because she still has to shoot her neck right here first. As soon as you can explain to me that she can actually reach that far, shoot it while holding it, and then reposition herself while she's still alive, not bleeding out her neck or anything, you know, and then while still standing, shoot herself right through her head. If you can explain that to me, then I'll believe she did it. But she can't. It's impossible. I think he did it. I mean, it's kind of obvious. And he made it look like she did it. I mean, would expect to see more lead on her hands, carried the cartridges, was lying on her body pointed upwards. Yeah, it was lying on her body when I saw the photo. I got to see the photo. It was pretty gruesome. But it's weird how she fell completely backwards. She fell down, and the rifle didn't fall off her body. The rifle was positioned on top of her. Because don't you think if you fell down, the rifle would kind of like roll off of you? No. When she fell down, the rifle and her arms weren't even on the rifle, so you can't say that she held the rifle while she fell. The rifle was positioned on her, on top of her. So I'm going with he did it. I'm sorry, you can't convince me otherwise. Rifle should have fallen to the side. She can't shoot herself in the neck twice. I don't care. He did it. And that's all I got to say. Anyways, hope you all have a lovely day. And if you have anything you want to say, go down in my comments below. Make sure you leave me the timestamp of what you wanted to talk about. And yeah, stay strong, everyone. Stay safe. Wear your seatbelt, wear your helmet, wear your mask. Don't put the flashlight behind you. Don't look into haunted mirrors. And as always, have a nice day. I got to edit all of this.